Now, in the same vein of the guy I just mentioned, Artur Beterbiev, so him and Dmitry Bivol have a fight coming up October 12th. My personal opinion, probably going to be the fight of the year. At least that's what I expect. Now, Beterbiev is coming off an injury. Was it his ACL?
Ruptured meniscus.
Okay, meniscus. Coming off an injury. However, it's not the first time we've seen Beterbiev come off an injury. I think the Yard fight got pushed back for an injury, and he still came out and looked very impressive. The guy's an animal. But Bivol as well, amazing fighter, right? Some people compare him to a robot, just so consistent, right? Just so consistent. So it's a clash of styles, right? You have, I guess, the boxer versus the puncher, even though they're both much more than that. But just, to simplify it, the boxer versus the puncher. So now going into this bout for undisputed, stick with me here. I want to talk about the fight. And our show is not Maury, it's not Jerry Springer, it's none of those things, right? But I think Bivol's wife of 16 years or something is now like divorcing him, and she's jumped on the internet and somehow became Team Canelo, which doesn't make any sense to me. Like, how are you Team Canelo when I'm fighting Beterbiev? Why don't you be Team Beterbiev? Like, what kind of underlying nonsense is this? Team Canelo? I beat Canelo's ass. Like, how are you team loser? It doesn't make no sense. That's stupid. But nevertheless, like I said, our show isn't Maury or Jerry Springer, so I don't really care about the divorce. Best wishes to Beterbiev. To Bivol. What I do care about is, can it psychologically impact him during this fight? Can we not, by some chance, not see the best version of Dmitry Bivol in his toughest fight of his career?
That's a good question. I don't know what is going on as well. I don't know if she had eyes for Canelo the whole time.
Ever since he started speaking English?
Yo, bro. It's sad about that. Baby, you know that. But I don't know, man. But that was pretty odd, and that's a good point, right? Maybe psychologically it could have an effect, him going through the divorce, and you have Arthur that's going through the physical disadvantages coming into this fight in a sense, right? Recovering that way, and that can have an effect on him mentally. But all it seems like it's more mental than anything. And I'm probably gonna have faith more in the foreign attitude than anything else, right? It may have an effect, but I don't think it's gonna have a major effect on his performance against Arthur, because he knows this is probably the most important thing, in his life, right? I think he's gonna probably have the attitude that this is more important than even his 16-year marriage, right? At this point in time. And although he can probably have in the back of his mind, I think he's gonna push it even further back, right? And I think he's probably known about this for quite some time. So I don't know if it had an effect during his training camp. I don't know, but I'm banking on the foreign mentality, right? With foreigners, where they typically are steadfast on their goals and they push forward,
Yeah. What I just don't want in this fight is, I don't want the Errol Spence, Terrence Crawford, right? Like, in the aftermath, someone saying, hey, that person wasn't at their best for this person. Obviously, for this reason, it'd be all speculation, right? And I know, people are going to jump in the comments, oh my God, Errol Spence fans. But I mean, it would have been the same thing when Terrence Crawford was going through the legal battle with Top Rank. Let's say they fought then, and Terrence was in and out of court or whatever, and let's say he performed and people were like, wow, that's not Terrence Crawford at his, at his best. It would have been the same. Nobody wants to see anyone come in less than at their best, right? We just want to see the best possible matchup. So same thing here. I don't want Bivol to be thrown off by anything. I want him to come in, look as sharp as he always looks, as dangerous as he always looks. And then you want Beterbiev to be as monstrative as he always looks, and as good. You want the clash at its best. So I'm just hoping they physically, mentally, they're at the top of their game, and we don't have to, like, after the fight saying, oh, that person didn't look like how I normally know them to look. You know what I mean?
I agree. I agree 100%, man. And hopefully, they do deliver, and hopefully, the things that they are battling, they can kind of get past it, and we get, what you are predicting to be fight of the year. That's definitely a highly anticipated fight.
Yeah, I don't want to go into any predictions yet, right? Because we still got some time for that kind of stuff. But when you look at this fight, and it's kind of flying under the radar, and allegedly it's going to be like on ESPN Plus, and not pay-per-view, but just if you have ESPN Plus, I think you're going to be able to stream it. That's what I've been seeing recently. I mean, obviously, like you said, they're both foreigners. They're not super vocal, but a clash this big for undisputed. Any other reasons why you think this fight might be flying under the radar?
I just think is based off their popularity. Us boxing fans, hardcore boxing fans, we know who they are. We feel like this is a huge fight, but I think to the general masses, they don't really necessarily know who Bivol or Artur is. And I'll probably say Bivol is probably one of the very few fighters to fight and beat a major pay-per-view star and still not rise to the stardom that we expect him to rise to. But I think it just comes down to who he is as a person, and just how his team promotes him, I guess. I don't know. So
yeah. And I thought it was gonna be a part of, like, I thought Turkey had something to do with this fight, but now it seems like it's just on Top Rank, which is very confusing to me.
yeah, I thought he definitely has something to do with this, but
But
I don't know
if
if
he
he's
did, then
collaborating.
it
Maybe.
would be on DAZN. I feel like it wouldn't be on ESPN Plus, because I didn't see it say DAZN and ESPN Plus. I saw it say just, I don't know, it's weird. But
Do you think he's collaborating with Top Rank now, or do you think that's maybe probably not?
I feel like he's the head honcho. He would still say, my stuff been coming on DAZN. This is gonna come on DAZN. Like, I don't see him conceding that, especially if he's spending most of the money. You know what I mean?
Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense.
So I mean, I don't know, but anyone watching this, I'm telling you, you should tune into that fight. That's a fight you're not gonna want to miss.